Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a beautiful new year to news cycle on Global TV Live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. Now the news in full. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has urged the federal government to address the economic hardship the Nigerians are going through in 2024. Atiku made the call in his 2024 New Year message to the nation. Atiku, however, acknowledged that 2023 was definitely a challenging year with important lessons for the future. Atiku called for a well-thought vision of national planning that would deliberately make the common people of Nigeria the centerpiece of our development. He urged the government to show a clear direction of its policies, projections, and desist from the subsistent behavior of groping in the dark. Governor Sheriff Obarewore of Delta State has approved 15 hectares of land as a take-up site for the Federal University of Medical and Health Sciences Kwale Udokwa local government area. Obarewore, who stated this when he received leaders and stakeholders of the Udokwa Nation at Government House Asaba, said the university will open up more development in Kwale and its environs. The governor noted that because he was focused on the development of all parts of the state, he had deliberately avoided citing any project in his OCB community. He thanked the Udokwa and Anoma Nation for their support of his administration and during his mother-in-law's funeral, as assuring that he would continue to provide equitable leadership for all Deltans. The National Parents Teachers Association of Nigeria, NAPTEN, has called for a collaboration between academic unions and tertiary institutions and the federal government to improve the nation's quality of education in 2024. It also described the insecurity being witnessed in parts of the country as a major challenge affecting the sector. Ogunbanjo said the education sector in the outgoing year had done well, but there is room for improvement. He said there could be achieved if the union and government could work together. The Economics and Financial Crimes Commission has invited the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, of an ongoing probe into the sum of 37,170,855,753 naira and 44 kobo allegedly laundered under her watch through a contractor, James Owete. The former minister was asked to appear before interrogators at the EFCC headquarters, Jabi, Abuja, on Wednesday, January 3, 2024, to explain the alleged fraud. An exclusive document revealed on Saturday. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has revealed a weather forecast projecting the prevalence of slight dust haze in the northern region of the country on Sunday. NIMNET's weather outlook, released on Sunday in Abuja, predicted the prevalence of slight dust haze across northern regions of the country with improvements in horizontal visibility. As the prevailing weather conditions across the country, dust haze continues to impact visibility with gradual improvement expected in certain regions. The agency anticipates that the northern region of the country will experience slight dust haze throughout Sunday, which may affect horizontal visibilities. In light of these weather conditions, NIMNET has advised individuals to take precautions to mitigate the impact of dust haze on outdoor activities and travel. This includes using protective gear such as face masks and goggles to reduce exposure to airborne particles and safeguard respiratory health. Additionally, individuals with respiratory conditions are encouraged to limit outdoor exposure during this period and seek appropriate medical advice if experiencing any adverse health efforts related to the dust haze. Over now to Kano, NDLEA arrested 1,016 suspects and seized 9 tons of illicit drugs in Kano State in 2023. The commandant of the agency in Kano State, Abubakar Idris Ahmed, speaking on Sunday in Kano, noted that suspects arrested were 40 females, 976 males. He said the agency secured 102 convictions in the outgoing year and secured the forfeiture of 5 vehicles, just as 104 cases were still pending in court. Idris Ahmed also noted that the drugs seized were 6,098 kg of Indian hemp, 1,696 kg of codeine and tramadol, and 1,335 kg of cocaine, heroin. The command also destroyed more than 15 tons of assorted narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances in 2023, he added. You're watching News Cycle live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using at Global TV NG and all the handles I'm showing on your screen. And when News Circle returns, rice remains restricted despite lifting of Forex ban customs. The news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the news cycle. Thank you for staying with us. And now over to our foreign desk. Kyiv on Sunday said it had destroyed 21 of 49 Iranian-made Shahed drones fired by Russian overnight, adding that 6 guided missiles had also targeted the northeastern city of Kyiv. The fresh Russian strikes came a day after an unprecedented attack on the city of Belgorod, and as the two sides took turns accusing each other of pummeling civilian areas of their shared frontier region over the weekend. The Ukrainian Air Force said in a statement on Telegram Sunday that overnight drones were particularly targeted at the front line of defense as well as at civilian military and infrastructure facilities in the frontline territories. It did not say whether the 6 missiles had hit their target. Chancellor Olaf Scholz traveled Sunday to parts of northern Germany hit by flood after days of heavy rain. The German leader arrived by helicopter at Verdun and Arles in Lower Saxony, one of the worst hit sites, where he will get a briefing about the emergency situation as well as protective measures that have been undertaken. Accompanied by the region's state Premier Stephen Well, Scholz will meet affected inhabitants as well as members of the emergency services days of rain. As well as melting snow had left parts of several regions, including the western state of North Rhine-Westphalia, as well as eastern states of Czech and underwater. No fatality have been reported in the latest bout of floods, but now rains are expected in the next few days. Provoking fears that dikes could be breached, thousands of emergency workers have been mobilized to reinforce dikes by piling sandbags along riverbanks. On our foreign news, the Israeli government on Sunday approved the appointment of a new foreign minister to replace Eli Cohen. A statement stated in a prearranged reshuffle. Israel Katz, the current emergency minister, will swap positions with Cohen as part of the ministerial rotation that is subject to parliamentary approval. Cohen will continue to serve as a member of the Security Cabinet, a government decision that is also subject to parliamentary approval, it added. The reshuffle comes more than 2 months after war broke out between Israel and Gaza Strip Hamas rulers, triggered by the militants' unprecedented attack on southern Israel on October 7th. Cohen was appointed foreign minister last year in Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition government that is widely considered the most right-wing in Israel history. Cohen played an instrumental role in the normalization of relations between Israel and some Arab countries after decades of hostility. Over now to pro-dollar revenue expectation from oil export, which government expects to deploy for effective implementation of the 2024 budget, may be affected as major global oil traders are moving away from pro-dollar transactions. In the 2024 budget proposal, the federal government has considered conservative oil price benchmarks of $77.96 per barrel and daily oil production estimates of 1.78 million barrels per day after a careful review of global oil market trend, and that the Naira to US dollar exchange rate of 750 Naira per US dollar was adopted for 2024 as well. However, report shows that a fifth of global oil trade this year was settled in currencies different from the US dollar as countries such as Russia and China move away from the petrodollar. Nigeria is pushing to reach and exceed the 2024 crude oil production budget target of 1.7 million barrels per day. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Oil Hanneke Lapobiri said that the country can boost crude oil production to 2 million per day. In sports, Rafael Nadal left the door ajar Sunday to continue after the 2024 season, but considered there was a high percentage that he was on his last trip as a player in Australia. Speaking ahead of his comeback from a 12-month injury absence at the season opening Brisbane International, the 37-year-old sprinter said he did not know for sure what the future held. The 22-time Grand Slam champion said that last year, with surgery for a hip injury, had been tough and complicated, quitting at one point during his recovery. Nadal, who has been sidelined since injuring his hip at the 2023 Australian Open, begins his single comeback against a qualifier in the first round in Brisbane. Still now on Real Madrid, manager Carlo Ancelotti has signed a new deal with the club, which will run until June 2026. The Italian 64 was appointed at the Bernabeu for a second time in 2021 on an initial 3-year deal. He was linked with taking over as Brazil's manager earlier this year, but he wanted to remain at the club. Ancelotti has won 10 titles as Real boss, including 2 Champions Leagues, most recently his first season back at the club in 2021-22. He has also lifted 1 La Liga title, 2 Copas del Rey, 2 Club World Cups, 2 European Super Cups, and the Spanish Super Cup once. The Real manager is the only coach to have won 4 European Cups, while he is also the first to win all 5 major European leagues in Italy, England, France, Germany, and Spain. And that's it on News Cycle, and it came to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using that Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Happy New Year.